The Soviet Union in 1930. A very peaceful and friendly place. But after the First World War and the following revolution, it was not a very wealthy place. Stalin wants to be taken seriously as a capable world leader, but every time he goes to a meeting, they're making fun of him wearing those Payless Clearance Section-esque shoes. With the insults getting to him, he decides that he is going to industrialize his country so he can finally afford a proper fit. Enter me. Stalin's top guy. I am to go in the middle of the hostile but resource-rich lands of Siberia and build a city that will mass-produce steel and money for the country. So, here we are in Workers and Resources. My goal is pretty clear. I'm going to be playing on the 1930 start date for the Siberian map, and I need to build a profitable steel industry there. First thing I notice when I load in, medium starting money gives you way less cash to work with. I'm trying to do ambitious things with less than half the money I usually get. Stalin wouldn't be setting me up for failure, would he? Still, I have to make this work. And honestly, as a Californian, I don't know how they manage this in real life. It is 4 degrees Celsius in May. How does life exist here? We don't even start with the tech to make steel. I know it's 1930, but come on, it's steel. Low-key, I got second thoughts about trying this. Maybe I just gotta tell Stalin I'm resigning. My budget sucks, my tech sucks, the terrain sucks, the weather sucks. If I were to send myself to hell, it's a coin flip on whether I be right back here. Even though I don't have the tech to see resource deposits, I can just use the mines to get around that, and since this area has a good iron and coal deposit near each other, this is going to be a great place for a steel town. Since it's 1930, we're going to be heavily reliant on rail transport to get things around, because our road vehicle selection is pretty bleak. I start by building a long railway from the customs office to a central station in the middle of this future town. My initial idea for the design of this town is that to the left of the railway station is where everyone will live along with basic goods and services, and to the direct right of it will be state services, and far away the trains will go to a station linking up to all the mining industry. Also, to show that we are for the people here, I will be naming this city Workergrad. Before I got things running, I quickly realized that this railroad crossing would be a huge bottleneck, so I built a bridge over it. Can't believe they let me build it like this though. A whole platoon could take cover in that trench between the sections. And I can already picture what's gonna happen to the people driving on that. My starting industry is going to be all about coal. Right now, we're just trying to get enough of it out of the ground to support the community. On May 14th, the first Workergrad train takes off to bring these proud pioneers to the coal mines, and soon they get to work. There is a big problem though with starting your economy on coal. In the global market, it's pretty worthless. At barely 5 rubles per ton, we're working for pocket change here. Still, money is money, so I set up the coal loading station to start exporting the coal I make. We're gonna need a lot more people to scale up our coal production, so I need to squeeze in more apartment buildings for workers, along with building a technical university so we can learn how to make steel. I really wonder what they're doing to research metallurgy here. This is a tech that's been widely known for decades, if not centuries, but they're acting like they're Gandalf looking through the archives. In June, we finally produce enough coal to start exporting, and look at the money we're gonna make off of it. Don't spend it all in one place, ass income. I looked for another good we could easily produce that'd be worth more, and I saw we could turn coal into bricks, and that'd be worth more money to sell. It ate much more, but I thought it was enough to justify building a brick factory. Although I've already spent 2/3 of the rubles I started with, I think I created a solid starting operation here. I even built a coal power plant so I can export some electricity too. Now that I'm exporting bricks with the coal, we're making almost a full 1,000 rubles per train load. Almost to a 4-digit income. That's progress right there. However, to achieve that, I will need more trains, and more trains requires me to do some actual train traffic management. I was putting this off for as long as I had to because it just sucks. This tutorial, if you could even call it one, still leaves me confused, and I'm just doing a bunch of educated guesses until it looks like the trains are running good. But sadly, when I think I've done a good enough job, I see we have a citywide power outage because no workers are showing up to the coal power plant. In Siberia, winter starts really early, with snowfall already happening in October, and very soon it becomes clear my city is not well equipped for the winter. The trains already don't run on time, and the snow-filled roads are slowing down the garbage trucks enough that they're behind schedule too. I do have snowplows, but I guess not enough. We actually broke even for the first time, but it's hard to sell that accomplishment to the workers when all their neighbors just froze to death. I was honestly kind of amazed with how fast the city collapsed. We went from a promising city to a history fun fact in a month. I was so bad, my life expectancy is given Cambodia in the 70s vibes. I failed, and if I told Moscow about this, I know how this story would end.
You are accused of treason and anti-Soviet behavior. The court finds you guilty and sentences you to be shot.
I couldn't give up, mainly because my life depended on it, so I ran it back to the beginning of November. I tried to fix up the train traffic, got some extra garbage trucks, however, by this point, it was too little too late. The city is too cold and it stinks, which for a Siberian mining town takes a lot. So I have to run it all the way back to summertime when we're back up to a steamy 4 degrees. This time, I don't procrastinate doing rail traffic control until the last minute. I also built some extra residential buildings to ensure a solid workforce for the coal and heating buildings. With all those mistakes fixed, the city runs great. Come October, when the winter starts, the population is holding steady and people are looking pretty healthy. I felt pretty proud of myself for fixing the problem so easily, but come December, the problems turned out to not be so fixed, but instead kicked down the road. The trains were still not running properly, leading to power outages, which in below -30-degree weather makes people very unhappy, and also die a lot. I'm caught in an unescapable death spiral. Once again, the homes aren't being heated properly, so people are unhappy about that. When people are unhappy, they don't do their job well. When people don't do their job well, the heating plant doesn't produce enough heat. When the heating plant doesn't produce enough heat, you see where I'm going with this. Despite being a game about building a socialist city, we still respect people's opinions instead of telling them to suck it up or we'll shoot you. So once again, the city is doomed. I just wanted to play my autistic city builder game, and now I'm stuck in the middle of a Frostpunk playthrough. But you know what? I'm still not giving up. Since we're playing Frostpunk now, I decided that we needed more heat generators around the town. This did help, but there just seemed to be so many small problems in this city that when put up against the extreme cold of Siberia, makes every little crack expand tenfold. I'll be honest, I spent like 2 hours in this Groundhog Day scenario where I'm just replaying the same months over and over, trying to do the same things to figure out the problems and marginally fix them. It felt like whack-a-mole. Like, for example, I think I fixed the train traffic management. Well, actually, the trains will just take the wrong route sometimes, so I have to adjust the train tracks to account for all that happening. Eventually, I get to a point where I stabilize the town enough to be operable in January. And from there, I decide we just need some more fresh blood to keep things running well. I replaced the people who died, along with adding a few extra places. And after that, I do what is clearly one of the most important steps, assigning where people work. This game really does make you more authoritarian. You can't let the people make any of their own choices, or they're gonna make the wrong one and hurt the city. Come February, with the worst of the winter seemingly over with, the city is getting better. Health is going up, along with the average happiness. Workergrad has finally done it. The city has made it through its first winter. And it only costs nearly the entire budget. I haven't even made the steel mill yet, and I'm nearly broke. It's bleak. Well, I can't progress without money, and I don't want to take a loan, so I'm gonna have to resort to other methods to get some rubles.
Please? No! Pretty please.
What the?
So now I've acquired an extra 1,000,000 rubles for the Workergrad steel project. First, we're gonna need some coal to feed into the steel mill, and of course iron, although it's way up in the mountains, so the logistics to get the iron down aren't gonna be too hard, hopefully.
2 hours later.
So while you were enjoying your Sunday afternoon, I was hard at work setting up the steel mill. Now, let me show you what's going on here. I have another station to link up with all the new buildings I made. Some go to the cable cars, some to the iron processing, some to the new coal mine, and many go to the steel mill itself. The cable cars take the workers up to the mountain to the iron mine, which has a series of conveyor belts to bring the iron back down to the plants. I got rid of the rail line to the coal and brick plant because we're going to need all the coal we can for the steel mill. Now, of course, to make this run well, we're going to need a lot more people, like double the population. So I'm making a massive neighborhood below the train tracks that is all within walking distance of the central station. In the first wave, we invite about 1,400 new workers to our city, and over the next few days, they start filtering into their new jobs, getting our steel industry working. I had to get more trains to facilitate all the extra people, which of course led to more traffic issues, but like I said before, you can't completely flame me for a skill issue when trains are out here just taking the wrong turns. And it's so frustrating that they don't do it consistently. You have to catch them in the middle of it to figure out what the problem is. Despite these headaches, the steel production is happening, and on April, we do our first export. It's only 40 tons, but this single train load is making us more money than 2 months of exporting coal from last year. After seeing that, it is clear we just need more bodies in the factory and mines. I expand the new neighborhood, getting 700 more workers in the town. But after doubling the population of the city in a few months, other issues are popping up, like all the trash the mines produce. I need way more garbage trucks to keep up dumping the waste produced by the extra industry. And I also need a way to remove the waste produced by the iron mines. Unfortunately, I couldn't think of a cheap solution, so I just cashed in most of my remaining dollars and built giant bridges to reach the mines up in the mountains. With planning like this, you can probably tell why I needed the extra 1,000,000 from Stalin. The other thing I noticed with all the extra people is that now our mines were too productive and the processing buildings couldn't keep up anymore. So I needed an extra coal and iron processing building. Fitting in this extra coal processing building, I'm gonna tell you, not a fun experience. The game will constantly gaslight you about what buildings can fit in an area. It's like,
But that's simply not possible.
Why isn't it possible?
It's just not.
Why not, you stupid bastard?
so I just have to brute force, pixel by pixel, figure out where I can put the plant, along with the conveyor belts the coal goes through. It took a while, and the final result is not pretty, but you know what? I got the job done for the coal plant. Fixing the iron bottlenecks was also a bit scuffed, but I'd say overall it was a third of the effort I spent getting the extra coal going. After that is all set up, it's just sitting back and watching the money print. I had finally done it and made Stalin proud. Workergrad was going to be making enough steel to meet those quotas and making the Soviet Union a better place. It took a lot of death and hardship to get here, but that's Russian history in a nutshell, ain't it? If y'all made it this far, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching me flail around in this game once more. If you want to see it happen, once again, remember to leave a like and recommend an interesting challenge to me that'd be worth looking into, because I gotta be real, every time I finish recording one of these videos, I find an extra gray hair, so y'all gotta make this worth it to me. Shout out to my alumni on Patreon funding these videos and my eventual hair dye bottles. Check it out if you want to do your part funding great content like this. Gonna be taking a vacation with my girlfriend for a bit, so there's gonna be another drought in content for a while, but let's be honest, y'all are used to that. I haven't been great this summer, but I can promise you a great Q4 lock-in where the content will flow and I will finish the mega campaign along with Captain Gosling's story. Anyways, that's all I got to say for now. I'll see y'all again soon. Bye bye.